We still hard on the yard, fam. This is part 2, American Bully Breeding, how to time your breeding. And come here, Debo, Shirley. We're doing all natural breeding here, so we did not do progesterone tests. So that's what the video mostly is about, is timing it naturally without the progesterone test and how to do that. And we need to get her into what's called a standing heat. I already know that she's getting close because of how interested she is with this other boy. If she wasn't close to standing heat, then she wouldn't even be hanging out with him or doing anything. I bought the stud to her to see the interest, and I've been doing that off and on for 3 or 4 days now until I seen the interest from both of them. So then today I was able to let them out together, and you see they're staying together. When he goes somewhere, she also goes too. That's letting me know she's getting close to that. She's very close to that. And she is kind of letting him. I just think he's a little young and may not be mounting right off, even though this is his 3rd breeding of the year. But anyway, I want to tell you one more thing about it that I didn't mention in the other video, and that's about flagging. And when she's in a standing heat, right now, she's in her vulva is in a position downward. In order for them to breed, she's gonna have to reposition herself to make it go straight out, and then he can breed with her. Come out of here. They always find the dirtiest, most junkiest place in the deal to play with. They got all of this place. Come on, Goofy. Come on. Shirley. So when she is ready, she will flag. In other words, when he comes to sniff her on the backside, she will position herself where he can mount, and she will position herself where he can breed her. She will point her vulva into the right position, and then he'll be able to breed. He won't be able to breed unless she does that. And she will not do that again until she is at top fertilization point in the heat cycle. If we didn't have our own stud here, you watched the other video, you know that you would go to the vet and get a progesterone test done, and they would tell you what's the best time for them to breed. Not for them to breed, but the best time for us to be able to do the artificial insemination. So if you don't have the stud there with you and you can't put them together like this, what I'm doing, because I'm going to keep them together after they actually breed, I'm going to keep them together another maybe 4 or 5 days, trying to fertilize as many eggs as I can. So I got to keep track of all of the first day that they tie lock, because that's going to show me how many days I got before it's time to do the C-section. I got to time all of this off of that. If I did artificial insemination, then I could time the C-section off of the day that the progesterone was at the top, because that's timing the actual egg. If I was doing artificial and doing with the test, I could actually time it to that day and count 64 days, into it to see when she would come. But since we're not, come here, Shirley, come here. I want to keep them away from Big Bo Jackson over there. Since we're not, come back over here, Shirley. Come here. Since we're doing this timing all natural, and we have the stud here, I don't need the test. And I'm going to time it off of the time that they actually tied in breeding. They tie lock. It's what we call a natural tie lock. So when they actually lock, I'm going to time it from that day to try to time when I have a C-section. And that's important too, because if I don't time the C-section day right, I'm going to have to go in there And before they'll give me the C-section, she's got to be within 24 hours of breeding. I mean, of giving birth. Come here, 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 come here. Come on, give her here. Come here, come here. Debo. I'm gonna chase you. Now, when she, I meant to say it'll tell me 48 hours before she's ready. So if I go in other words, if I go in and get a progesterone test done, and if it's under a 2, then I know that she's got 48 hours before she gives birth, and they will go ahead and do the C-section. If I take her up there and she's not under a 2 on progesterone level, then they're gonna charge me a progesterone test, which is $65, and send me home. Then I'm gonna have to come back and do that all over again. So I've already added another $65 to the cost of the surgery because I didn't time everything correctly. So for me, I time it off of the natural tie lock because we don't do artificial insemination. But if we were doing artificial insemination, then you would time it off of that artificial insemination date because that was timed by the progesterone, and that would be right on because it's timed by the egg. So it's 2 different ways. It's the natural way and then the other way. But as you can see, every once in a while he'll get behind her and she'll kind of flag for him. She'll move her tail out of the way. It's another thing that you can see. That's called flagging. And even if I rub the backside of one of her, either side, she will flag. If she just feels something on the back of her hip, she will instinctively flag. That's when she's in standing heat. So if he wasn't there and I could just go up and just rub on her side, she would stand there and she would flag. Now, this is what we're doing because we want all natural. If you don't have the stud, like I said, you're gonna have to do AI. And if you gotta do the AI, then you're gonna have to do the progesterone test and everything. But one of the perks of having the stud on the property is you don't have to do the AI and you don't have to do the progesterone test. And it saves you just a little bit. And the second thing is I get a lot more time to fertilize the eggs. In other words, I get to keep them together 4 or 5 days until she gets tired of him, in other words. When I start to see her snapping at him, that means she's out of the window and she will make him leave. So she will not let him in until the window's right, and she will not let him leave until the window's right. Whether I do testing or not, the natural course is gonna run its course. Debo, get back in this gate. Come here. Debo, come here. Come on. Debo. These bullies, you see they know what I'm saying. They know what you're saying. They just stubborn, be trying to try you. Messing around. But that is 2 nice looking bullies right there, man. Look at the top lines on these dogs. Look at the head size, shoulder width of this female. Look at the girth on her. Debo is one of my stoutest boys. But he is a little younger than she is. Debo is just a little over 2 years old. So when he gets about 3 years old, he's gonna pop again. He's gonna be super wide. You really can't tell how wide a boy is gonna be until 3 years old. You can tell he's gonna be wide, but you won't see the full extent until he's about 3. So that's why she looks a little bit more mature than he is, because she is. Come on here, boy. Come here. But he is my buddy, man. He's great temperament. And that's what we breed for around here. Temperament, muscle, structure, and straight athleticism. That's hard cut, man. And that is 2 nice bullies right there. You see how his back legs, the ankles don't point in. That's called cowhawk. You see hers, they don't point into each other. It's called cowhawk. They don't have cowhawk. They got H-frame chest in front. I mean, perfect tails. and they bully, man. So you need to quit messing around with all these old dudes that got these little skinny chihuahua-looking dogs, and come on off the bench for the big win, man, and get you some hard cut. It's on.